Mahama has given Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu 10 days to respond to 3 petitions demanding her removal from office. The directive, in a letter signed by Secretary to the President, Justice Mahama, expressed disappointment in the Chief Justice over her leaked letter requesting for copies of the petition in the media before the letter got to the President. Let me read to you excerpt of that letter dated 28th March 2025. It says His Excellency has received 3 petitions from 3 individuals requesting your removal as Chief Justice. 2 are dated February 14, 2025, and the 3rd is dated 17th March. Copies of the 3 petitions are attached. Following receipt of these petitions on 24th March 2025, His Excellency wrote to the Chairman of the Council of State forwarding the petitions and informing the Council that in accordance with the consultation process required under Article 1466, he intends as an initial step to send the petitions to you for your preliminary comment or response. On 27th March 2025, His Excellency received responses from the Chairman of the Council of State consenting to this request. Copies of these letters are also attached. Upon receipt of the petitions, His Excellency was advised that per Frank Ejechum versus Attorney General and Bright Akwete 2005-2006, the confidentiality attached to proceedings under Article 146 also extends to documents and other relevant materials employed in the proceedings. His Excellency, however, notes with disappointment that your letter dated 27th March 2025 addressed to him was circulating on social media even before he could review its contents. The letter was reportedly shared as an attachment to another letter you wrote to the President of the Supreme Court, the President of the Association of Magistrates and Judges, and the President of the Ghana Bar Association. Therefore, we are constrained to mark each page of the attachment to this letter restricted. Finally, His Excellency wishes to assure you that due process will be followed in handling this matter and that you will be given a full and fair opportunity to be heard. Accordingly, you are respectfully requested to submit your preliminary response to the petitions within 10 days of receipt of this letter to facilitate further consultation between His Excellency and the Council of State. And then it goes down to give the breakdown of the 2 letters that were dated February 14, 2025, and the 3rd one, March 17. Copies attached as well. It says, following the receipt of these petitions on 24, the Excellency wrote to the Council of State forwarding the petitions and all that. So that's the letter that is also signed by Justice Mahama, Secretary to the President, and it's also copied to Honorable Doa Jaho, Council of State and former Speaker of Parliament, Chair for the Council of State. So let's get a reaction of Lawyer Kweku Sansari. He is former director of the Ghana School of Law. I was fortunate to have him in studio with me here yesterday when the Chief Justice letter came, and he thought that the Chief Justice just jumped the gun with that letter. Counsel, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time tonight on 505, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. So now the President has responded to the Chief Justice's letter, expressing disappointment that the letter found its way on social media and even the media before the President himself got a copy of that letter, and the fact that that process would have gotten to the Chief Justice. I still think that she jumped the gun yesterday.
Yes, I do say that, and I'm happy that at least His Excellency has voiced his displeasure. I didn't think that there was no call for alarm at that stage, but did as he requested to be supplied with copies. He has been supplied with copies. So I think, so far so good. My only concern, the Honorable Lady Chief Justice in requesting to be furnished with copies of the petition. I said that she read about the petition in the media. And if the President is also saying that he also read about the Chief Justice's request to be supplied with the copies of the petitions on social media. And I think that our 2 leaders, should should call the truth to this. I mean, they are responsible leaders. The whole nation is watching them, and they shouldn't depend, to what their subordinates will do. If we were, elsewhere, they will be sharply rebuked, for this kind of, lack of leadership. They should demonstrate clear leadership for the youth to emulate, and not to say that, I heard about this thing on social media, and therefore I'm also, responding via social media. I keep saying two wrongs don't make a right, but they are leaders, and at their level, they should be above reproach.
There's some aspect of the letter that says that, I'm quoting, the letter was reportedly shared as an attachment to another letter you wrote to the President of the Supreme Court, the President of the Association of Magistrates and Judges, and the President of the Ghana Bar Association, page 1 of 26. Therefore, we are constrained to mark each page of the attached documents, the letter, restricted. So, is it to say that the Chief Justice's letter to the President shouldn't have been copied to all these people, the President of the Supreme Court, President of the Association of Magistrates and Judges, and the President of the Ghana Bar Association? That letter that was requesting the President to furnish her with a petition, copies of the petitions against her.
When I got a copy of her leadership letter requesting for response, I was amazed that she copied a letter to she copied them into. I didn't think that it was proper. You see,
why?
According to Article 146 Clause 8 of the Constitution, the proceedings pursuant to the President's consultation with the Council of State and establishment of a committee, to go into inquiry or investigate the allegations contained in the petition. The Article 146 says that the proceedings to be held in camera. It means, it is not something, at this stage, to be in the public domain. And therefore, there's no need at this stage to copy anybody. It must be the President to the Chief Justice back to the President, and then to the Council of State, and then to the committee, and they sit in camera, they make their recommendations, to the Presidency, the Council of State, then the President takes a decision whether to suspend the Chief Justice or whether not to suspend the Chief Justice and all that. At this stage, none of these correspondences, must be leaked, under, any circumstances whatsoever. I think it's inappropriate to say that.
Okay. So if the processes should be held in camera, how then are we supposed to know on which grounds these petitions are and why the need for the removal of the Chief Justice?
We are not entitled to know anything.
Really?
The addressees and the consumers of the petition are entitled under the Constitution, to know what the Constitution permits them to know.
Okay.
It is only when they have finished that, when these things are disclosed, and the full disclosure, then we get to know. Otherwise, statecraft will come to a halt. If everything will have to be copied, to the general public. I mean, everybody, it's not everybody who is entitled to know what is going on between the two of them.
Okay. For transparency's sake, because people are saying that there's a ploy to remove the Chief Justice, and the Constitution is clear, and at which circumstance the Chief Justice can be removed. So for transparency's sake, are we not supposed to know why there's the need for the call for the Chief Justice to be removed, maybe stated misbehavior and others?
That is why, there's always a brief from the presidency. So the secretary is there. What, the president thinks or believes we should know, the president will, let us know. But if everything the Chief Justice coughs, the president must disclose it to the public. The president coughs, the president sneezes, and that's not what the Constitution, contemplated. So, in the reasonable expectation of the Constitution, the reason why the proceedings are to be held in camera is, for purposes of confidentiality. Some of these things must be within, permissible limits. And yesterday on your show, I did say, that some of these things are meant for the ears of the listeners only, not for their lips, because we are a nation full of, gullible sycophants. The moment they hear the way they will dress, the information, by the time it gets to the last consumer, it's been so twisted, it's been, so massaged, as to distort, the essence and substance of the information.
Okay. Now, the president says that he wrote to the chairman of the Council of State, forwarding the petitions and informing the council that in accordance with the consultation processes required in Article 1466, he intends as an initial step to send the petitions to the Chief Justice for her preliminary comments or response. And then he said yesterday on 27th March 2025, His Excellency received responses from the chairman of the Council of State consenting to this request. So based on that, they've given the Chief Justice 10 days for her preliminary comments. What does this mean? And from that, what is the next step?
Well, as I said, so far so good. The president is only acting in accordance, with the provisions of the Constitution. The petition make sure. The only apparent breach was the fact that the Chief Justice had not been given prior, information before the president initiated the consultation process. But I mean, it's not written in the Constitution at what precise stage the president must furnish the Chief Justice with a copy of the petition. So it could be before or after.
Okay. So now, when the president receives this response from the Chief Justice, is it for the president to now determine that, okay, let's set up a committee to go into the case, if prima facie case has been decided, or it will go back to the Council of State to determine from the response of the Chief Justice what next step the president should take?
That is the purpose of the consultation with the Council of State. So as part of the consultation process, the president and the Council of State, will, I believe, discuss, what would be appropriate, in the circumstances. Maybe they may agree, that a committee should be set up immediately, or having regard to the gravity of the allegations contained in the petition and the Lady Chief Justice's response, there will be the need to suspend the Chief Justice immediately, or await the preliminary, recommendation by the committee being set up. So it all depends on, the outcome of the consultation between the president and the Chief Justice and the Council of State. But if you follow the timelines proposed by the Supreme Court in the J-Trum and Batakwete case,
okay,
even though they did not specifically stipulate timelines, I think they said that expediency must be, at the core of the transaction between the president and the Council of State.
The Chief Justice, in her letter herself, was requesting for 7 days. Now the president has given her 10 days. So I'm sure within
that not gracious enough on the part of the president?
And I'm sure
he's giving her more than she requested.
So I'm sure there will be an expedition of this whole matter, and then we'll know what next step it's going to take.
Sure, because any delay is not in the interest of the state, because the wranglings will continue and affairs of state will suffer. When two elephants fight, is the grass that suffers. So the president says that, well, you asked for 7 days, but I'm the father of the nation. I've given you 10 days. So act timeously, and then we'll see how, where the ball will drop. It's a ping pong game now. Pam, 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 pam. If the ball drops, we'll know the decision or and the pleasure of the president.
Oh, lawyer, thank you very much for your time tonight on
My
505.
pleasure.
I'm sure that in the coming days we'll still engage you as a former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku and Sansari. I'm sure many of you have already started sending in your messages contributing to this discussion. It's not going to go away anytime soon. We'll also look at the cases that have been filed in the Supreme Court. Remember, there are 2 cases, one from the Member of Parliament for Old Tafo, Eko Vincent Asifua, trying to stop the president because they say the president did not forward the petitions to the Chief Justice. It was supposed to be moved on the 2nd of April. Now, according to lawyers, once the president has now officially submitted those petitions to the Chief Justice, those court cases have become, or applications have become moot.